Hello everyone, I'm Akali and welcome to a new video. So today I'll be talking about my art process. Basically what I mean by that is that I'll explain how, I start with my drawing and how I, continuing the process of my drawing. So the first thing I do is just think of an idea of what I want to do, what I want to draw. Maybe something inspired me, maybe from a series or from a book or something, or a song. And then when I finally have an idea to what I want, I'll start, sketching it out, like how I want it to look like how I want it to look like in like my head, try to draw it out like it is on my head. So after I've done that, I just, continue to sketch things out. And when I'm happy with the sketch, I then start to do the outlines. But here's the thing with the outlines and stuff. I don't really make a new layer for the outline because I don't really like, spending another layer on, lining and stuff, drawing lines. So I just do it on the same layer, on the sketch layer, and then I just erase some of the, sketches and stuff. The outlines can seem a bit rough and ugly, but yeah, can't really do anything about it. I'm a bit too lazy, with removing or erasing the outline, the sketchy lines and stuff. But sometimes I leave it there, maybe I forget or something like that. So after I'm done with the outlines, I thicken the lines so it doesn't, look very, how do I say it, bland kind of fish. It's like, it kind of looks ugly if you don't put any line weight to it. Because without line weight in my art, it looks terrible. So I always add in like very thick lines, like extremely thick lines. So it has some diversity in the lines, Maybe in some areas where the shadow is supposed to be, the lines are thicker, and when the lights, and when there is supposed to be light, the lines are maybe, a lot more thinner, something like that. And after I've done all the line weight and stuff, I add in some shadows for my line art. Basically, I just add some, mostly dark eye bags on my characters, like with the line art and stuff. Just so the characters look tired or a little bit insane, because, I love drawing my characters insane. So I just add the shadows there and here, and after that I also add the shadows on the clothes sometimes if I want to go for more of the manga style. I sometimes do it, but most of the time I forget to do it because me, I forget a lot of stuff. So after I've done that, then it comes to coloring, and I love coloring. Basically, how I used to do it is that I just, make a new layer and put it under the line art, of course. But then I start to fill in, the character, the colors and stuff. And there is going to be, colors outside of the line art, and you don't want that. I don't want that. It's ugly. So I always select on the line art layer, and then I use the select tool of the outside, of the line art and stuff. And after that, I go back to the other line art, not other line art, I mean to the other layer where the coloring is, and then I just press Control X. That basically makes it a cut, and then the coloring outside of the line art is gone, and that's how I used to do it. But now I found a better way to do it, because I could have just select inside of the line art now, and then use the bucket tool to fill in in the other layer, coloring. That's much easier to be honest. I don't know why I thought the other technique I did was a better idea. But now I use this select thing with bucket tool and stuff, and it's much easier and faster. So I'm glad with that one. So after I've done my, coloring and stuff like that, I start with the shading. And this time it's like detail shading. Basically, what I mean by detail shading is that you make the colors, stand out. You make it look like there is some form to the drawing. Like maybe when you draw the nose, it looks really flat. But then when you add some shadows on the nose, it starts to look more, like a nose. It doesn't look like someone freaking took a pan and smacked you on the face so that your face is flat, It actually looks like that you have, form. Also, I'm so sorry if you hear noises in the background. I have my window open because here in Sweden it's pretty warm. It isn't usually this warm in Sweden here, but it's summer, I guess. Anyways, so after I've done my detail shading on the face and stuff, I also add in the detail shading on the clothes, to help it look more like the clothes have folds and stuff, just to make it more, look like more clothes. It looks like it's clothes on the character. And after I've added in the, shading on the clothes and everything, I then get to my next shading. And this is my favorite part of drawing. I love shading. You have no idea how much I love shading. Basically, I go to the line art layer, and what I do with the line art layer, I basically select the outside, and after I've done that, after I've selected everything, I then go to the other layer for the shading. And what I do, I use I switch the layer mode to shade. Shade doesn't really, exist in other programs, art programs, mostly on Paint Tool SI. I think it only exists on Paint Tool SI. I might be wrong, but I don't know. After I've done that, I've just used my bucket tool and, erase some shading and stuff for the lighting. I actually made a video about it last week. If you want, you can check it out. If you want to know more about shading on Paint Tool SI or something, I don't know. Do whatever. So then I do my shading and stuff, and then I make another layer for another, shading layer, because it's like the almost same thing with the detail shading, but a lot more darker, you could say. And after that, I take another layer and do a shine layer. And basically, shine layer basically makes your, art glowing or something. It's for, lighting. So I take so I put some lighting on where it's supposed to be and stuff like that. Those type of stuff. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, I also use a watercolor brush to blur it all out so it looks like shadows or whatever, because shadows are blurry. So I do the, shading blurry and the lighting blurry. And after I've done that, I then have another layer, and then I put it on overlay or shade. Basically, why overlay or shade? Because after I use like the bucket tool for black, fill it in with black with my character, is because when I lower down the opacity, the character looks more harsh. The shading looks more harsh, the lighting looks more harsh. and it makes it a creepy effect, which I really like, but sometimes it can be problems. Basically, sometimes you can't see the clothes if the clothes are too dark or something like that. It can sometimes be a pain to deal with, to be honest. So after I've done that, I then erase some of the lines from the overlay or shade layer, you know, when I fill in with black and stuff, so it can have also some lighting, you know. Sometimes I probably forget to do that because I'm a very forgetful person. And after I'm done with the shading and everything, I do another trick with my line art. Basically, I make this blurry effect, which I love with my art, to be honest. It makes my art more, you know, spicy. So I make it all blurry and stuff. Also, I add in texts, like from lyrics, or maybe sometimes it comes up in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, let's make this have more flavor in my art. Because I like adding edgy texts from songs or from my mind. It's just my favorite thing ever. And so after I've done that, I do the blurry thing to spice my art up with the line art and stuff. And then I decide the last thing ever. It is the background. Well, it's the least last thing. I think that's the right word. Yeah, I think so. Basically, I always take neon colors or very dark colors because that's my type, I guess. I love that color. You know, those types of colors that are darker, neon, something like that. And then I just, you know, put the color that gives the mood off of the character, you know. I mostly put like red or blue or purple or something, or pink, because that's basically all colors, but like neon, so it gives like a strong emotion, I guess, a strong mood of the drawing. So after that, and then I do like the darkness on the corners of the background to give it more of a creepy vibe, you know, like an insanity vibes. I don't know, like very edgy shit. So after I've done that, now the last thing, and it is another overlay layer. Basically, everything blends in with everything. So after I've done that, everything is like blend up together and it's finished. So that's basically how my process is. It may sound confusing, but that's the best how I can explain it, because I'm really bad at explaining. If you like that, if you like this video, if it somehow inspired you, if it gave you some other technique that I was in the speed paint or something, and you want to try it, sure, go ahead, you can do anything. If you want to check my social medias, I have my Twitter in the description. I have my toy house in the description. I'm gonna say this again. Please be cautious about my toy house, because there's a lot of like triggering stories about my characters and stuff, and I don't want anyone to get triggered, so I'm just warning you. Also, if you click on my toy house, it says the warnings and what kind of triggering content there is with my toy house account, so just be cautious about it. So yeah, that's all. It was really nice making this video and talking to you guys. I'm just talking to my phone, actually. Anyways, I'll see you guys in next week. So bye.